everyone, I'm really happy to be back with this video. Something huge is being revealed right now. Pandora's box has been opened, and this creates a huge shockwave on the planet right now. It is very impactful. It has really a strong impact on a political level, social level, but also, of course, emotional level and also physical. So what is coming out right now is pretty heavy, and everything that was hidden in the shadows can no longer hide now, and it has to come up to the surface. And this is just the beginning. All of this has to come to the surface, not to create fear, but to create awareness and to create a very big and strong collective awakening for humanity. In this video, I'm going to share what lies beneath the surface, but also how we can navigate these really intense times that are so impactful for us sensitive souls on a physical, energetical, emotional level. And it can be really pretty destabilizing. It can be really difficult to accept also what is going on, and simply because we are also connected all together to the collective field. This hidden shadow that is coming up, that is being revealed right now, is present on Earth for millennia. So it really participates, I would say, in the history of humanity. And I would say that it started off with the fall of Atlantis, because in those times there were two factions that separated and were at war, actually. One faction was a Brotherhood of Light, the other was the Brotherhood of Darkness. And they were fighting each other. There was a huge war actually going on, and this war is still happening currently. I mean, to this day, it has never ended. It is a spiritual war, it is a hidden war, a secret war, but it's still going on. So basically what happened is that the Brotherhood of Darkness chose power, chose control, chose to succumb to the ego's desire for more power and more material wealth. And the other, the Brotherhood of Light, remained in alignment with Source, with the heart consciousness, and also service to others versus service to self. Service to others, but also for the good of all, I would say. And the secret spiritual war is happening through, to this day, still to this day, through the secret societies that we have on this planet. And again, we have the secret societies that are connected to the light and the secret societies that are connected to the dark. And in the end, this duality that we experience on this planet and through this spiritual war that is going on is actually a metaphor and a mirror, I would say, for what we are experiencing as a soul when we incarnate on Earth. When we incarnate on Earth, we always have free will. Are we choosing to serve others, or are we choosing to serve the self? Are we choosing to succumb to the ego's desires for more wealth, more power, more control over others, for example? Or are we remaining in the alignment, the original alignment with Source, with Creator, with God? So when we understand that, and we see this spiritual war happening, then it is a reminder of our own experience on this planet and on our own choices as souls when we incarnate on Earth. And who do we worship in the end? Do we worship the fake God of matter or the true God of light? The revelations that are coming out right now are, of course, linked to this famous case and this famous list that is coming out right now. And the information that comes with it can be very difficult to see, to accept, and to integrate, especially if we had no idea this was going on, or maybe we had an idea, or maybe we thought it was only conspiracy theory. But I know that many of us actually know for quite some time what is going on in the dark, in the shadows. And me personally, I've been aware of this for almost like 20 years now. So it was very difficult when I came in contact with all this information. It was difficult to accept. It was difficult to integrate. And now that I know, I'm not wanting to connect back to that energy. And I would definitely advise you, if you already know, do not go back and connect to that energy because it's very dark and it's very, very extreme, very difficult. But nevertheless, it has to come out because, you know, humanity's eyes were shut. Eyes wide shut. I always think about that movie, actually. Humanity's eyes were shut and now they are being opened again to this truth. And of course, when I was talking about this like almost 20 years ago, people were thinking I was completely nuts. Because how could they imagine that there is a world elite that is actually ruling the world, that are complete psychopaths, and that they are Satan-ic psychopaths, and they actually feed off human energy, and they actually also like collaborate with non-human entities. I'm not going to get into this in this video, but they are attacking what is the most precious thing we have, the most innocent thing we have, which is our children. So of course, this really is difficult to digest and to accept. This timeline of revelation was actually always meant to be. We were always meant to go through this timeline as the ascension process is going on. It was just a matter of divine timing, and everything happens when the time is right. We really have to trust the universe for that. And what we are going to experience is like a fall of the dominoes with this case. And I've been talking about this for quite some time, almost like, 6 years now, since 2020. I was saying revelations are coming, arrests are coming, and this secret, hidden, collective shadow is going to come to the surface. It needs to come to the surface so that humanity can awake fully, because we cannot awake when we deny the collective shadow. Of course, we cannot awake when we deny the personal shadow, but also the collective one. It is something that we need to address, we need to see, we need to inform ourselves of that. But again, once we know, then there's no point in dwelling on it at all. Actually, it's even really not beneficial at all to do that. In my 2026 forecast, I was talking about the fall of the leaders and the fall of figures of authority. So that's happening on a political level with political leaders falling, but also on a spiritual level with false gurus falling. And already we have 1 or 2 names actually in that famous case coming out. So I'll let you search who, but more are to come. It's only the beginning. And the collective is going to become aware of how we have been deceived, how we have been manipulated, abused, and how we have been also enslaved in a way, because again, it is all about, humans being a resource, and especially the energy of humans. As all these names will be exposed, we will also experience in the times to come really a focus on how we can protect and preserve our innocent children. So in the coming years, really, there's going to be a real movement around that, how we can protect them, how we can take care of them, and so that never again this actually happens on this planet. So how can we deal with all of this? Because as I said, what is happening is creating this huge truth shockwave on the planet, and this shockwave is impacting us sensitive souls, even though maybe we live, a quiet, peaceful life. We are all connected to the collective field, so we are all feeling this impact. And this is strongly impacting us on a physical level, especially emotional also, but especially our nervous systems right now, because there is so much intensity and there is so much information out there as well. And we also just started off the Chinese New Year with the Horse of Fire year. So a lot of fire, a lot of intensity, a lot of speed, and the nervous system is really, really struggling. So maybe we're struggling with sleep, we're struggling to remain calm. So what I can really advise you is to, anytime you can, really come back to your breath. Anytime you can, go to nature, go to the trees. I can never say enough how trees are so great helpers. They help us immensely to calm us down when we feel, stressed, when we feel anxious, when we feel there is there's too much going on. And just by connecting with a tree, meditating close to a tree, or just, with the intention asking the tree to help us to cleanse the emotional, energetical body, but also to calm down the nervous system. So that's really something we need to do the more we can right now. But also, if we feel completely overwhelmed, if we feel that it is really too much and that we are going a bit crazy, or we just feel helpless or powerless, there is something very powerful also that we can do. And it's simply saying out loud, I give back this to God, Source, Universe, the light, whatever you want to call it. I give this back to you. Whether it's an emotion, whether it's a negative energy that is impacting us, whether it's an ailment, whatever it is, when it is too much, when we feel that we can no longer cope with it, we just say out loud, I give it back to God, Source, the universe, the light. And you will see and experience, and maybe even if you have a visual, you will see it. You will actually see that energy or that thing coming out of your body, of your field, and going back to the light. So we don't need to carry it all. We don't need to carry this on our backs. It is far too much for us to carry. We just need to anchor ourselves as light workers, so remain in this alignment, remain in this groundedness. And if it's too much, there is this really simple transmutation tool, which is I give it back to God. Or we can also give it back to the earth if we feel that we have this very strong connection with Gaia. And actually, I guided a meditation recently for my private community, where there was this message from the beings of the inner earth, and they invited us to connect and be synchronized with the core crystal heart of Gaia, which is different from, like being impacted by the Schumann resonance that is always rising. It's completely different from that. It's really connecting to the crystal core, the heart of Gaia, and being in synchronization with it. It's really going to help us to calm down physically, to calm down the nervous system, and to be, at peace and to be centered. We are living extraordinary times. Yes, they are really intense, but they are really extraordinary. And, all these different prophecies that existed for millennia, whether it's the Mayan prophecy, Hopi prophecy, Indian prophecies, even the prophecies in the Bible with the book of Revelation, they all talk about what we are experiencing right now on Earth. They all converge to this moment in time, this ascension on planet Earth, and it's really a great time to be alive and to be witnessing all of this. Let's not be impacted by this darkness that is coming out right now, but rather seeing it as a proof that what was hidden is coming to the surface, so that the collective of humanity can awaken, so that we can move forward as a civilization. There is this wave of mass awakening, and humanity is finally opening its eyes again. And yes, sometimes it's difficult to see all of this darkness that is surfacing, but it serves this purpose to actually awaken humanity. So instead of feeling blinded by the light, we can really feel guided by the light, and we can walk all together in the footsteps of our divine identity that we are actually reclaiming right now. So I hope that it was useful for you, that you got all that you needed to really help you to stay in alignment, to stay centered and peaceful in these times. And maybe you can share also this video with someone who may feel overwhelmed right now. I hope that it's going to be really helpful to as many people as possible. I will see you soon. Sat Nam. Take care.